The following presentation is brought to you by the Realm Network.
Chicken head, chicken feet, chicken necks is all I eat.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this edition of A Bucket Full of Chicken Necks. We have a lot to talk about today. You know, I hope you guys really appreciate this Chicken Necks show, because I'll be quite honest with you, like, you get all of me in about as rawest form as possible. You know, what I'm going through, what I'm feeling, where I am in the day, where I am in my life. And right now I'm exhausted, and I'm going to tell you why, you know, in a few minutes. But, you know, listen, appreciate it is what it is. You know, I'm not the kind of guy, I'm not going to go do makeup. I'm not going to go have a shower and fix my hair because I got a podcast. It is what it is. I've had a grinding day today. I've had a grinding last 3 days in a row. I'm working many hours. I'll get into all that in a minute with you, but you're going to find out what's going on in my life. Let's take care of business first. Kayfabe Commentaries has a brand new video series out, which is, again, amazing. You know, Sean Oliver, my friends at kayfabecommentaries.com, they continue to top themselves. Now they just came out with Raven's Wrestler Rescue. And what this series is Raven, the wrestler, takes struggling athletes from the independent scene, and he gives them characters, and he gives them gimmicks, and he refines those gimmicks. He teaches them, you know, the moves that work with the gimmick. Then he brings them out to indie shows, lets them work in front of a crowd, and he sees if his experiment has worked or not. This is amazing. Listen, I'm sure the WWE Network will be ripping this off in about a month, but right now, Sean Oliver, Kayfabe Commentaries, they're the only ones that have anything like this. Raven's Wrestler Rescue. It's available on DVD at kayfabecommentaries.com, or you can see the instant video on demand at www.shootinterviews.com. That's Raven's Wrestler Rescue. And let me tell you this also, I did, like, as promised, I sat down and I watched the Vampiro 3-hour shoot interview yesterday with my friend Sean Oliver. My name was brought up several times. I put a call into the world famous Disco Inferno. He's looking at it. We're going to try to set up our schedules. I took notes during this entire DVD, and Disco and myself are going to be talking about it. A couple of other notes. You have until the end of this month, that is 18 days left, to join the brand for less than a stinking $1 a week. You can go to vincerussobrand.com and use the code word brand. The code word is brand. It's not up on your screen, but that's what it is. I've been doing a bevy of interviews the last couple of days, especially a lot of people from Lucha Underground, being that the season is starting up 2 weeks from today. So there are, you know, always the 2 interviews every week, the Chicken Necks, the Lions, Tigers, Bear, everything you can imagine. Also tonight, we're doing a special podcast, The Making of a Murderer, the very popular show on Netflix. We're going to have a group discussion that you're a part of the discussion. I'm in there. Jeff Lane is in there. If you're a member of the brand, that gives you the right to come into the room. You have to be one of the first 8 in order to get in the room, but we're doing that at 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time tonight. So there are a lot of fringe benefits that go with being a member of the brand. Okay, I got to figure out where to start, because I got a lot on here, and I'm just going to cross them off one by one because I want to make sure I hit everything. Let me first and foremost say I want to wish my father, Jim, a very happy birthday. Yesterday, my father was 85 years old. God bless him. Listen, man, he's my role model. He's my hero. He's my best friend. He's everything that a father can be to a son. My father has always been there for me, has never let me down. I love him more than anything in the world. He still plays baseball on Mondays and Wednesdays. God bless his soul. And yesterday he turned 85 years old, and I want to wish him a very special happy birthday. I also want to say, listen, I'm trying to get back in shape. I told you, starting January 1st, I was going to get back in shape. I'm not doing so well diet-wise. I'll be honest with you. I still, eat what I want. But I will say this. I have walked every day in January. My wife bought me a walking stick because if you will remember, not too long ago, I was, chased by a dog while I was walking. So I'm very hesitant to walk. So I've been looking for a walking stick. My wife bought me one for Christmas. So for the first 12 days in January, I have walked. I'm walking about 3 miles a day. I will continue to walk. I usually go out about 4 o'clock or so, right before the sun starts going down. Excuse me, at 5 o'clock. And I got to tell you what happened to me over the weekend, man. Saturday, I went for my walk, and I usually go walking off in fields where there's nobody around. And I went for my walk. I came to the end of the road. I made a left, and it's just an open, huge field. And I got to tell you, when I turned the corner about 30 feet in front of me, there is a coyote, and a good-sized coyote at that. As soon as I saw him, I stopped dead in my tracks. I kind of backpedaled till I came back to the end of the road. And then I turned around and hightailed it. And luckily there was no coyote encounter. Usually coyotes don't bother you, but I got to tell you, man, after I had that encounter, I went online and I read of many reports of coyotes freaking attacking and biting people. So now I've completely changed the route. I'm walking in the neighborhood. My thinking is, coyotes may not come around where they know that there's population or they know there's people. So I should be a little safer. So I'm walking more now in the neighborhood. But I'm going to continue to walk. I got to work on the diet. I got to tell you, my eating habits, my sleeping habits are all over the place. I don't even know what kind of a routine I'm in. Usually I'm falling asleep at about 11. I'm getting back up at 12. I'm hungry. No, I'm sorry. I get back up at 1. I eat something because I'm hungry. I go back to bed at 4. I wake up at 6 or 7. I take a nap at 2. I don't know what's going on with me anymore, but my freaking clock is all over the place, which may explain to you why I'm a little bit, tired. And but there's other reasons. Okay, let me go through this. Now I'm going to cross off Dad 85. I'm going to cross off Coyote. Okay, here's next on my list. Powerball is up to $1.4 billion, and you got to be in it to win it. I don't play Powerball. I'm in it. I bought 5 tickets. But listen, I was doing some thinking, and, these computer geniuses and programmers and, people that are very, computer savvy, I would have to believe at this point that you could play every possible number combination, every one of them, and it would still come under $1.4 billion. So in other words, why isn't somebody playing every possible number combination if the grand prize is $1.4 billion? Because I don't think there's that many different number combinations. If anybody out there knows the answer to that, let me know. But I would have to think if you played every combination and were guaranteed a win, it would be under $1.4 billion, so you'd win money. Let me know. Somebody do the research. I'm too tired to research that. Okay, here we go. My next thing. 3 out of 4 family members are hot at me. It hasn't been easy for me in the last couple of weeks, especially since Friday. I'll save the big one for last. First of all, I told you Will is mad at me because his fiance heard the show. when I ripped Will about the non-Christmas gift that he gave me for Christmas. His fiance listened to the show. She didn't appreciate it. I got a call from Will. He didn't appreciate it. I told Will, hey, bro, I'm calling a spade a spade. What can I tell you? I didn't get any Christmas gift from you. Your brother, who doesn't make a lot of money, bought me a gift, and he bought me a gift. You did not buy me a Christmas gift. And listen, you know how this show goes. If you have to get called out, I'm going to call you out. If I got to call myself out, I'm going to call myself out. So he's not talking to me. Get why my daughter is not talking to me. The other day, my daughter made a healthy recipe, some kind of chicken with vegetables and whatnot, okay? And she put it in the refrigerator. So, she ate the dinner. When she was done with it, she put it in the refrigerator. So now she went out. So when she went out, I ate my dinner from the chicken. She was out, late that night. The next morning, she's in her room sleeping till noon. Well, when lunchtime came the next time around, I went back into the chicken and I had the chicken for lunch. So by the time I ate the chicken for dinner and lunch, there was no chicken left. So now she comes prancing down the stairs, just waking up, 12 in the afternoon, 1 in the afternoon, whatever time it was. She goes to have the chicken for lunch. There's no chicken, so she wants to know who ate the chicken. So I said, I ate the chicken. First of all, if it's in the refrigerator, as far as I'm concerned, it's fair game. It's anybody's in the refrigerator. I said, second of all, I paid for the chicken. It's my chicken. The fact that you prepared the chicken and made chicken with vegetables, whatever you did, it's my chicken. I paid for the chicken. I own the chicken. So how are you hot at me for eating my own food? So she went upstairs in a huff. She's not talking to me. Then we get to the big one on Friday night. And listen, man, maybe I'll put the heat on myself where it deserves to be. But I got to tell you this, as a guy that's going to be 55 years old in 2 weeks, I'm not going to change my stripes or my colors at any time. I'm going to tell you that right now. Listen, I don't like hanging around people. I especially don't like hanging around people I don't know. I don't go to weddings. I don't go to parties. I don't go to dinner parties. I don't have drinks with people. I don't hang out. I don't like being around people, especially people I don't know. There's like a handful of people that I want to be around. I've been this way my entire life. I am already dreading my son's wedding in October because there's a lot of people there I don't know that I'm going to be forced to talk to. I'm already having an issue with this. So my wife's work decide they're going to have their holiday party, after Christmas. So now all the husbands and wives are getting together. They're going out for drinks, then they're going out to dinner, whatever the case may be. My wife's a parapro, which is a teacher. So the teachers and the husbands are getting together and they're all going out. Listen, I'm not going to these things. I have no intention of going. I've been married for 32 years. I've never gone to them. I'm not going to start going to them. I'm not going to sit there and talk small talk with Joe Blow when I got nothing to say to the guy. He's got nothing to say to me. So I didn't go. So my wife went alone. She was the only single person there. Everybody else was husband and wives. She came home that Friday night. It's Wednesday now. She's still not talking to me. Listen, let me make one thing perfectly clear. Number one, I can't turn back the clock. That's number one. And number two, if I had to do it all over again, I wouldn't have went. So if she doesn't know me 32 years of marriage by now, if she doesn't know me by now, she will never know me. That's not my thing. Listen, I'm socially inadequate. I'm socially inept. I don't like that stuff. So I keep to myself. So I don't know how long the not talking to me is going to go on, but it's gone from Friday to Wednesday now. Okay, let's look at next. Okay, listen, I'm all out of order. I'm all over the place. I'm just going to hit them as I go along. In the last week, I've interviewed 4 people from Lucha Underground. The beautiful Carly Perez, Katrina, the beautiful Melissa Santos, the ring announcer, the head writer, producer of the show, Chris DeJoseph, and yesterday, Melissa Anderson, who's new to season 2. You might know her as cheerleader Melissa. I've known Melissa for 10 years. I got to tell you something. I am so turned off to wrestling now. I don't want to answer wrestling questions. I don't want to watch wrestling. I don't want to talk about wrestling. But, I know that's what a lot of people expect me to do. And, that's why some of you pay to be members of the brand, and that's cool. So I got to do my job. But I got to tell you, every single time I talk to somebody associated with Lucha Underground, they make me freaking excited about the show. These people are so into the show and so into what's happening in season 2, so proud of the company they work with, that they get me stoked about the show. By the time I'm done interviewing them, I'm like, okay, Lucha Underground, January 27th, 2 weeks from today, I'm going to watch it on the El Rey Network. They're just so into it and so proud and so happy to be there. Segue into TNA. Listen, guys, I'm not going to say anything bad about anybody on the TNA roster. They're all trying their hardest. They're very prideful men and women who work hard. Nobody phones it in. I have many, 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 many friends. There was nothing on TV last night. I was waiting for Johnny Carson to come on Antenna TV at 9 o'clock. So it was about 8 o'clock. There was really nothing on. I'm like, you know what? Let me look at this Impact Wrestling. So I turn on Impact Wrestling. It's the second show on Pop TV. And I got to tell you, this freaking show is absolutely awful. And it's absolutely awful because the guy in charge of it, the guy in charge of creative, doesn't have a clue when it comes to creativity and wrestling and characters and storylines. Absolutely clueless. And I'll tell you what, here's like the first thing I saw. Eric Young is having a match with Bobby Roode. On the outside is Bram and Storm. Okay? Bram and Storm wind up getting into it. On the inside of the ring, okay, Bram and Storm wind up getting into it, okay? Storm lays out Bram. Storm now gets on the inside of the ring, and Storm and Roode, the baby faces, double team Eric Young, okay? Meanwhile, I don't know where the ref is. I guess the ref got knocked out because that would have been a disqualification right there. No big deal. And it doesn't matter that baby faces are doing it. No big deal. The two of them lay out Eric Young. Then the two of them get in their pose. They're ready to do the pop-up Beer Money because Beer Money's back together. So they got their back to Eric Young, who they just laid out, okay? So now they're getting down, ready to do it. Eric Young pops up and lays out James Storm. Keep in mind, Bobby Roode is still up. Lays out James Storm. So now Roode has his back to Eric. They're making him look like an absolute freaking idiot because Eric Young just laid out Storm. Roode didn't see it. Roode doesn't know Eric Young is up. And Bobby Roode's got to turn right into Eric, kicking him in the nuts. It was so poorly laid out and executed. It was so Bush. You would have saw this on a bad indie show. You know, I'll be honest with you. And again, I'm not going to put that on the talent because, first of all, storyline-wise, it made no sense. Two guys just laid out one guy, then the one guy gets up and lays out the two guys. That makes absolutely no sense. But again, it's coming from a guy that doesn't understand wrestling. So now Young lays out both Beer Money, makes him look absolutely stupid and idiotic. So right then and there, I'm just watching this show. Are you freaking kidding me? We go to the same backstage segments, the fly on the wall they've been doing since 1985. They darken the audience. I don't know if it's because nobody's there or it's artistic. I don't know what it is. It looks effing horrible. Okay, so literally, I was watching the show for about maybe 20 to 30 minutes, and I'm like, I'm tapping out. This is horrible. Nothing has changed. They're gonna lose their third network, and it's at, you know, things sometimes get the point of being pathetic. That's at the point of being pathetic. And again, nothing to do with the talent. I want to make that perfectly clear, because I never met a wrestler, male or female, that didn't bust it in the ring. Never. Never. Very rarely in my 20 plus careers did I ever see a wrestler phone it in. And quite frankly, you know who the ones are that phone it in. But up and down that TNA roster, these guys have been busting their asses, and the women have been busting their butts for over a decade. Unfortunately, you know, they're working for just freaking misfits who don't have a clue on how to do anything. So I'm done with that. And you know, again, it's going to be the same story 6 months down the road. They're going to be doing their 300,000 people. Bradley Schwartz is going to be saying, "Oh, you told me we could get up to the 1.3 million people you were doing at Spike. What happened? What happened, Bradley? Let me tell you right now, it stinks. Management stinks. They don't have a clue. You got the wrong people in the wrong places over there at TNA." All right, let me cross that out. I got to tell you this, man. What a freaking treat, the Johnny Carson show on 9 o'clock. I think it's on 7 days of a week. Man, you want to talk about stars and you want to see real television and real stars, watch this show any day of the week. It doesn't matter who Carson has on the show. These are people that are larger than life. Last night, he had on Robin Williams and Jonathan Winters. Now, I'm sure you're all familiar with Robin Williams. You might not be familiar with Jonathan Winters, who was Robin Williams's comedy idol. Robin Williams idolized Jonathan Winters, put him on his show, Mork and Mindy. There's a little history. The two of them on Carson last night, with Carson feeding them like a pro, was just freaking incredible. What a treat that these reruns have been put back on Antenna TV, 9 o'clock at night. Again, you want to see real freaking stars, watch the Carson show, watch the people on that show. All right, I got this. This I can't even read. Let me put my glasses on. I don't even know what I wrote here. Hold on. Oh, album. I'm going to give you my album of the week. Listen. You might laugh at me, and that's okay. This is the part, again, this is like my advertisement to I don't want to be relevant. I don't care to be relevant. I come on here every week, and I prove to you I'm not relevant. My beard gets grayer by the day. I'm popping over Johnny Carson reruns. So, you know, again, here's a case to no longer be relevant. I'm telling you, when I was about 8 years old, and I told this story before, my very first idol growing up, my very first one, was a man that had a television show. And how the television show used to work was like this. The show would start, and it would be a microphone like this. And it would just be a microphone. And you would come, and the announcer would say, you'll just see the mic. The announcer would say, "Ladies and gentlemen, this is Tom Jones." Then a man by the name of Tom Jones, a Welshman, would grab the microphone and just freaking start going to town, singing the coolest dance moves you ever saw anybody do. The women in the crowd were going absolutely nuts, gyrating. The coolest cat I ever saw in my life. And I fell in love with this Tom Jones. And I remember when I was a kid, my freaking mother used to punish me by not letting me watch the Tom Jones show. That's how she would punish me. She wouldn't let me watch the show, and I'd go berserk that I couldn't watch Tom Jones. With that being said, one of my favorite albums as a kid that I still play weekly up to this point in my life Tom Jones live in Las Vegas is one of my favorite albums in the entire world. As you can see, this is a new one because this is about my third copy. I've worn this album out, and this is my third copy. This is Tom Jones at his absolute best. I'll never fall in love again. Love me tonight. I can't stop loving you, Delilah. Come on, man. Why, Delilah? My Delilah. Give me a freaking break. It doesn't get better than that. And I don't care that you laugh at me. I don't care that I'm irrelevant. This is one of my favorite albums of all time. Tom Jones live in Las Vegas. The funny thing about this is there's a lot of banter with him in the crowd. It's freaking hysterical. He's trying to pick up every girl in the audience and their daughters. It's freaking hysterical. All right, that we're crossing out. I talked a little bit about, tonight, The Making of a Murderer, this very popular show on Netflix. We're going to be doing a special brand on it, 9 o'clock tonight. Join us. Let me cross that out. Okay, a couple of things here. I don't know what to say about Sting in the WWE Hall of Fame. If Sting is happy, then I'm happy. But, here's a man that had never been in the WWE his entire life. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure they threw him a boatload of money. But, he comes into the WWE, loses a match to Triple H at WrestleMania, has Rollins throw him all over the ring where the guy almost suffers a broken neck. He's been out of action since, very much on the down low. We don't really hear much of his condition, but the WWE is going to make everything better by putting him in their fictitious Hall of Fame that only one man gets to choose who's in the Hall of Fame. I'll be quite honest with you. It's a little disgusting to me. The way the guy came in, the way they used him, the way he was hurt when it didn't need to go down that way, the way they never discussed the injury, the way they never wished Sting a speedy and well recovery. They never even mentioned it, but now we're going to put him in the Hall of Fame. Everything's hunky-dory. Yay! Please, I find it disgusting, quite honestly. If Sting's happy, I'm happy for Sting. All right, I covered that. I swear to God, I can't stand the thugs in pro football and pro basketball. I can't stand the thuggery. Listen, I think it's real simple. If you have a criminal record or if you have a criminal past, if you've broken the law in the past, you should not be allowed to play professional sports. It's that simple. They should be able to run your record. If you did something wrong in the past and you did some time, or you were incarcerated, you should not be allowed to play professional sports. It's that simple. That'll eliminate a good amount of the thugs that play football and basketball. What happened at the end of that Cincinnati Bengal game was freaking embarrassing and was an absolute joke. And I got to tell you, if this jabron was my teammate, I would have beat the ever-loving crap out of him after the game. As a matter of fact, the whole freaking locker room should have dogpiled this idiot and beat the crap out of him that he would have never wanted to come back to play on the team again. What a display of absolute thuggery, and I'm sick of it. I'm sick of the thugs in the NFL. I'm sick of the thugs in the NBA. That's why I'm happy and proud to be a baseball fan. Very rarely are there cases of thuggery or thugs in baseball. Now, it happens on occasion. Of course, it's going to happen, but it's not a weekly thing. That's why I'm a baseball fan. I am proud to be a baseball fan. For some reason or another, there's just a different standard athlete that is a professional baseball player compared to the thugs that play in the NFL and the NBA. And that I'm telling you, I'm not even kidding you. If I was a Cincinnati Bengal fan, how can you ever root for that team again? How can you ever again pull for that team to win after that display of the lowest form of sportsmanship you could ever see in your entire lifetime? All right, crossing that out. Now, I'm going to tell you why I'm tired. I'm very tired. I've put in a lot of hours the last 3 days, and I'm going to tell you why. About 4 years, it's going to be 4 years ago that I left TNA. And when I left TNA, I was in the process of starting my own business, but I had a lot of downtime. So I just started tinkering, on my computer, and I started, I started tinkering with, writing a script. And I wrote it as a script. I wrote it as a movie. I was bored, so I wanted to entertain myself. My son, Will, was helping me. So we wrote a movie, and it was called Belle of the Brawl. And I've spoken about it a couple of times. It was about a woman that owned a wrestling company and, quite frankly, had no business owning a wrestling company, had no idea what she was doing, and is kind of like the Michael Scott of The Office. She's kind of like the Michael Scott of professional wrestling. If you're a fan of The Office, you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Me and Will wrote this screenplay, and we just thought it was absolutely hysterical. I mean, and here's the beauty of it. A lot of the stuff actually happened. And, me and Will wrote it for our own enjoyment. We thought it was hysterical, and we kind of just put it away. We didn't think anything of it. Well, recently, and I don't want to say how or why, but a production company in LA got involved. We sent them this script, and they liked the script very, very much. And they asked us if we could take the movie and cut it down to a pilot episode. So that's a lot of work, and that's a lot of hard work, because we wrote a movie. It was probably 100 and something pages. Now we kind of had to go down to about 25 pages to do a half an hour pilot. And then here's the thing that's hard. I sent it to them. I get their feedback. They send me their notes. So now I got to go on the computer all day long, work on this, adjust it according to their notes. I send it to them. Now they come back with a whole new set of notes, back to the computer, another 5 or 6 hours working on the script. They come back with the notes again. We send it back again. So it's a very long process, and I'm trying to juggle all this between, the interviews I'm doing to get in the can for the brand, the podcast I'm doing on an everyday basis. I mean, yesterday we did Raw. What was it good for? Now I'm doing, chicken necks. Tonight we're doing Making of a Murderer. So it's constant work. And listen, I'm cool with that. I got to be honest with you. I never thought at 55 I'd be hustling like I was 25. I never thought I would be. But the fact of the matter is, I've got a family. Annie's still going through college at CU. I'm getting older. I want to make sure everybody is taking care of the house and all that stuff. I want to be able to buy my own freaking chicken that I can eat. Thank you very much. So the hustle never stops. We're always freaking hustling. But, that's why I'm shot. I'm complete. I got to trim this mess. I haven't even really had time to shave. But I've been working on this script because I got to tell you, there's a part of me. Listen, I know how the Hollywood game works, and I've dabbled in it, probably going all the way back to 1999. I understand how it works. I understand getting a television show on TV. Basically, your chances are like winning Powerball tonight for $1.4 million. The chances are slim to none, okay? I get that. But then there's the side of me that's like, what if? What if God is shining down on me? And what if this wrestling show, which is a parody of the wrestling business, which is what the wrestling business has become, what if this wrestling show sees the light of day? What if people are entertained by this? What if this wrestling show even draws money than the legitimate wrestling shows that are on TV nowadays? What if? So because of that little what if stuck in the back of my brain, I continue to work on this show every day. Will continue to work on it till the production company is happy enough to take it out and shop it, and maybe we get a pilot, whatever the case may be. But I've been working a lot on the show. I think it gets better and better, and we'll see what happens. But I just want to explain that to you because I'm really, really tired. And according to my clock, it's 3:34. What that means is in 26 minutes, I got to go out and have my walk, because if I don't do it at 4 o'clock, it's going to be dark, and I really don't want to be walking in the dark. You know, there's coyotes lurking who knows where. So listen, that's it from my end, everybody. I got to get this out to Mark. It's late in the day. I want him to get it up today. If you listen to this and it gets up shortly, remember, Married to Making of a Murderer tonight, just for you, the brand members, 9 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. Tomorrow, I'm going to be releasing an Ed Ferrara interview. Ed and I do not agree on NXT, and that's totally cool, but we have a conversation about it. Then Friday, Lions, Tigers, Bears. Monday, repeat, yada, yada, yada. Thanks for joining me, everybody. I'll see you next week.
The people want to hear from me, Rob Van Dam.
Timeline, the history of ECW, the series that retells hardcore history, presents Rob Van Dam, covering 1999.
I looked at WWE as a sellout. Like, I didn't want to go there.
This no-holds-barred interview with superstar RVD reveals all about ECW in 99.
Okay, drank it with a beer. What was that? He said, morphine.
This and more spellbinding editions of the series available at shootinterviews.com.